Welcome back to the 2018 USA Ultimate Championships. We are here with women's pool play action, the last round from this pool between Brute Squad and Nightlock. The 2018 USA Ultimate Championships are presented by VC Ultimate, providing Ultimate's best custom team uniforms and apparel since 1998. Visit VC on the web and vcultimate.com.
Brute Squad coming up here.
So, women's pool play action, Brute Squad, Nightlock. Tony, tell me a little bit what you think we can expect from this game.
Well, just by the numbers, Nightlock coming in here at 0-2, Brute at 2-0. Brute, of course, a favorite here, the #1 seed, looking to add a third trophy to their trophy case. So you got to figure Brute's going to be a pretty tough competitor here. But Nightlock, 2 close losses earlier today against Heist and Schwa, and a strong team with a strong core. And we can see what they can do against the difficulty of Brute as they pulled to start it off.
So, Brute Squad out on offense. Immediately putting it to the middle here. Slow to set up the mark. Nightlock is Jessie Grignon-Thomas, the Canadian, comes down to this near sideline. Now putting it back into the middle with Claudia Tajima. Grignon-Thomas and a drop right in the middle of the field. Not the start that Brute Squad wanted here. It's going to give Nightlock a chance to go and get an early break as they move it upfield.
Well, one of the things that Dariani,
and immediately into the end zone, Para puts that one deep to Eliza Chang, and not necessarily what we expected, but Nightlock coming out big with an early break in this game.
That's amazing, and that's just a great start for Nightlock off of a simple drop in the middle of the field, an error from Brute Squad, and they capitalize. And what I was about to say was that Slap is her nickname, of course, but Dariani, one of the Fury leaders for years here on this Nightlock squad, told me that one of the keys for Nightlock is converting. You know, what they're going to do, they're going to get the disc. Are they going to be able to hold the disc, their D-line, and right off the bat, they score.
Good job there from Nightlock to recognize really quickly the quick transition, always so punishing in Ultimate as well. So definitely something that they might look to take advantage of in this game too.
You know, I feel like in the beginning of the game, you feel like there might be a little nerves there. You're throwing upwind, and there's just so much confidence in that throw and that catch from both players that it's a great sign for San Francisco.
And on the other hand, an uncharacteristic mistake. Grignon-Thomas been one of the most dominant O-line cutters in the women's division so far this year for Brute Squad, coming down from Canada, World Games player. Most of her teammates here playing with Vancouver Traffic. She's here with Brute Squad and absolutely been killing it. So I'm sure we'll see her reel those ones in the future. But for now, Nightlock, an early break in this game, leading 1-0 as it will be brought into play here with Brute Squad. Hoffman fakes the upline shot to Tama. Bit of a side stack for Brute Squad as Tajima gets it in the middle. Malinowski made a good cut to the far side, but now it's back into the hands of Malinowski in the middle. Now Tama has it. Grignon-Thomas resets to Tajima.
Good defense from Nightlock right there to prevent the isolation stack off the pull.
Sinecrope puts it low to Hoffman. Hoffman has Malinowski going, but puts up the big pump fake. Looks back now to Sinecrope, and it's going to pop over her head, knocked down on the second attempt as well. And a chance here as Natasha Wan gets her hand to that. Nightlock could break a second time in a row. Inside shot, but bobbled off the hands, and that's not going to work. Lou can't hang on to that one. Tajima now. Upfield to Malinowski, and another mistake here early from this Brute Squad side.
Question here for Nightlock is do they try to use field position? I don't think so. I'd like to see them work it down and get a downwind score here.
Rafter picks up for Nightlock. Now put around to the far side. A great bid by Juan to retain possession. Working it upfield to Megan Para. Now Liu. Liu put it to the end zone, but a miscommunication there. Thought Chang was going to stay on that near side, and looks like a travel called there as Brute Squad will reset.
Little, I want to say a little, yeah, just out of rhythm, maybe a little greedy, like expecting that turnaround there from Chang, and it wasn't there. She was making an outcut.
So Schwam gets underway and puts it to Hoffman, who finds Malinowski at field. Malinowski is going to put that looking for Grignon Thomas. Defense in the space, and Thomas can't come down on the second attempt. Good pressure there from Para. Rafter now looks upfield. Fong is going to put that, and it's going to sail too far with the wind, out of bounds as well. Had Para going deep, but can't execute on the throw.
Yeah, Para playing well. That was a pretty good look. You could see her really wanted that disc back. She knew she had a chance there. Para was open, and an unfortunate here is that the disc sailed out pretty close to the out of bounds up to where the release point was. So Boston will move it up and get a half field here.
Sinacrope gets us back underway here for Brute Squad. Looking to Hoffman on the up line. Hoffman does well to keep that in balance, and another low throw, but getting down. Schwam keeps it in possession here. Brute Squad not looking perfect right now. The team we've seen be so dominant all year, a bit shaky as there was an injury on the play.
So that should come back. Yeah.
The injury occurred way before the throw, so it should return despite them signaling the goal. Looks like they've decided that it did not affect the play, that the throw, the cut still would have occurred regardless. So good spirit from Nightlock on that one, and this one's tied up at ones. But a very shaky start to this game from Brute Squad.
It's tough when you're you're 2-0. Even if you lose this game, Brute Squad's going to win the pool, right? They've already locked up the pool. So you got to start asking your, as a coach and as the player captains out here, what's your motivations here? They don't need to play perfect. They don't even need to win the game. I mean, that's kind of an interesting position to be in, right? So a little loss of focus there, and you can see what can happen, just some easy turns.
So 1-1 early in this game. Our first look now at the Nightlock offensive unit as well. It'll be interesting to see what they can put up against Brute.
Well, okay, so you talked to Coach Jackson, and I talked to him earlier, Coach Ari Jackson, of course, from Brute Squad, about what they are going to do on defense. And it's, yeah, we play person defense that's, the marks, it's gritty, it's tough. And talking to Dariani on Nightlock, she says, yeah, they're going to come down and play really tough, gritty person defense. So the teams know what's up, and it's just, who's going to execute better.
So the pull goes up here. The Brute Squad D-line out on the field now. Centered to the middle for Nightlock. Habert with the disc. Looking for a reset, and there's some of that tight defense. A touch on the foot block there, but it comes into the hands of Lemberger anyways. Now up line, well reeled in there. Sharman resets to Habert. Had the upline option, good mark there from Zoo to cut it off. Now resetting into the middle. Lemberger looking for the next option. All she has is the reset, but it's going to sail over the head. Well done by Lyman to track that one down, following it all the way. Habert.
Moving backwards a little bit here, though.
Now onto this near sideline with A. I tries to put that one back, and it sails over the head, reeled in here by Brute Squad. Chance now for Brute to break as Groom goes to the far sideline. Murphy looking for the reset, and Zoo finds her. Zoo in the middle of the field goes into the end zone, and Brute Squad showing us what they're made of. Cassandra Wong with the goal, and they break right back.
Yeah, well, what a squad to have. You Callahan winner Angela Zoo on your D-line. Really have a lot of confidence there. When you get the turn, it's in good hands. The disc is going to be in good hands. And in fact, their D core of handlers is that Dartmouth. There you can see Cassie Wong there with the simple, force side cut. And we know Cassie's going to be cutting for the score. She's one of the known cutters for this team, and Zoo hits her.
said, having the ability of players like Angela Zhu, of course, Cami Groom on the D-line as well. Incredible player out here for this Brute Squad team. So much speed. Didn't see her make a defensive play there, but immediately was open on the transition as they moved upfield. And it's one thing that Groom does so well is how quickly she transitions from offense to defense.
It's very seamless. And, you know, that this is what it takes to be an elite team, you know, where you've got two-way players all over the place, and Brute's that team. Nightlock there, they had a good series, and they were moving it up, and then the clamp down starts to happen, and then you get a little bit of jitters, and you're not seeing the space.
So Nightlock now a chance back out on offense as Para is going to put that one deep. And well read there by Zhu. Maggie O'Connor went up for it but can't get there. Nightlock putting up a good first play, but with the pressure of the likes of Angela Zhu, hard to get that disc past the defense. I
like the play call. Good design, good positioning, and Para just left it a little bit short, but you also want to give credit to the defense there. Zhu really went up for it.
So back in play now for Brute Squad. Cohen looking for an option. Taking away the resets, but it's swung all the way over to the far sideline here. Caitlin O'Connell. Now Douglas. Douglas has the under option. Canning now. Brute Squad being taken away a little bit on that back reset, being given the upline shot as O'Connell gets it upfield again. Fakes the upline look. Now has Zhu back. The high release throw is a little bit shaky, but Zhu does well to track it down. Cut's coming a little bit slow from the Brute Squad stack right now. As Sadler puts it back over to Zhu.
Zhu's got surprising length. I'm watching her close here, really, and she's a bigger target than you realize.
Zhu now a good break shot around. Canning, 5 yards from the end zone. Brute showing some patience, but again, some slow cutting coming out of the stack right now as the handlers are forced to work it all the way up, and they do. No problem for the handlers in this situation. Canning and Zhu going 1 and 2 there, and they break again to make it 3-1.
Yeah, this is the team you want to watch. This is Brute Squad. This is why we watch the best teams in the country. Just so fun to watch them move. And the cutting, the lanes, the precision, that low break mark forehand release from Zhu underneath the arm, just butter.
Absolutely phenomenal, and slow cuts coming out of that stack, but they also created that space for the handlers to just go 1 and 2 and work it up the field all the way into the end zone.
Why not? Yeah, work it in. Didn't have to. I think looking at it, Becky, I think they didn't want to force it into the wind. So they had the open cuts. We saw Caitlin O'Connell cut to the far cone, which we're seeing them walk off now in that area. So, but that's into the teeth of the wind. So why risk it? Why not just stick with the backhand and work it in on an easier goal shot, not having to punch it into the wind? That's just good coaching and good awareness.
So Nightlock showing some moments of brightness as well, some good decisions, some good ideas on the field, but just the pressure defense from Brute Squad is still shutting them down.
It starts to get in your head a little bit, where you're like, okay, we have to draw up the play call to send one deep. And they did, and it was defended. And it's like, okay, it's like, now what do we do? It's tough. It's a hard position to be in, especially coming off of the two difficult, tight losses.
So Nightlock back out on offense as Habert gets the disc. That tight person-to-person defense here from Brute Squad. Long puts it back for the reset. Dariani again resetting, now back to Dariani. Looking for the next option, has an upline one, but there was a pick called on the play. Griffith will have to put this one back, see Groom catch up here.
There's Dariani, great veteran experience. You look down the roster and you see a lot of girls coming out of college, and then you see Dariani holding down the fort as the old veteran on here at 35 in her 16th, I think, national, she told me. So a lot of great veteran experience, won a number of national championships with San Francisco Fury.
So this will come back in with Manisha Dayarni on play. Griffith does well and then unleashes a backhand. There's pressure in the area, and the pressure this time wins out despite the second attempt there. Brute Squad coming in big on defense right away. Rachel Kramer with that D.
Yeah, good attempt there from Lemberger.
Werfelli will pick up and shoot low to Groom. Groom looks for the next option. Werfelli, little juke and scoops the upline cut. Now back around and all the way over to Groom. Upfield, and this time it's bobbled off the hands of Kramer. A gift back again here to Nightlock, another execution mistake.
Well, let's see what San Francisco could do with it. Still their O-line out here.
So Habert now looking inside and shot just too low in front of the outstretched arms of Lemberger. Werfelli will get the disc back here for Boston. Upfield. Boston resetting now to Werfelli again.
Oh,
Caitlin Lee scooping those scoop cuts up line, so dangerous, and puts them in the position to find Groom in the end zone to make it 4-1.
Sorry, I almost jumped. I saw Caitlin go out, in, out, and she was open on every, she's just chewing up yardage. And that's what Caitlin Lee does. She's just, it's really hard to stop. I mean, it's hard enough having to deal with her when she's guarding you, and then to have her come out on offense and just get open at will. It's like, woo.
Like you said, Lee, a tireless cutter in those positions and so dangerous near the end zone space as well.
Yeah. When we saw that college nationals with her Dartmouth teammates there, really taking it to the Stanford women in that excellent game. There's a timeout now.
Looks like Nightlock opting to call this timeout. And Tony, at this point, Nightlock, they got the opening break of the game. They're down 4-1 now. What do you say to them to get them back involved a little bit more in the conversation here?
You know, you just want to go to your team core principles. I mean, you want to stay within your team principles. And, you know, some of the principles of Nightlock: have fun, you know, really support your teammates and be there for your team. And so I think that's probably one thing they're talking about. You know, let's not be scared of it's scary playing this Brute Squad team. You know, how do you fight those fears and you know, have a good time out there and let the game come to you a little bit.
Focus more on the things that they can control in these situations, and we'll see if they can come out and do that. Coming back out on offense out of a timeout, a great time to build some team momentum and confidence to come out of a timeout, execute right away on your O-line.
Exactly, with a little bit of a downwind. So I'd love to see basically, you know, would be kind of a cool play call would be the same setup with that huck deep, which was almost worked, but then to just put a wrinkle in it and have someone come a little bit under and then send it. So you have an extra person in there. Could be something useful. We shall see.
Brute Squad, on the other hand, sticking to their main D-line here. This team has been so dominant all season, undefeated in the USA Series, 22-0 coming out here, and they've won 2 games already today, beating Heist 15-2 and Schwa 15-10. So a bit of a closer game against Schwa. Said that the O-line for Schwa was very hard to stop. We'll see if Nightlock can deliver some O-line magic of their own. Looking upfield. Colans with the disc. Has O'Connell on the mark, under pressure, looking for the reset to Habert. Habert now shooting around to Lyman. Lyman's gonna put it deep, has the receiver going. It's gonna be read well and into the end zone. Just a run in. Angela I on the doorstep for a hold for Nightlock. Looking for the ISO play in the end zone, but good defense from Brute Squad shuts it down. A little over the top there to Habert, and then into the end zone, and there's the hold. Looks like it will be a point. A little discussion there between the two players, but no call made, and it's 4-2.
Beautiful put there. Nice run down by I. There she is with the disc number 10, and gets the reset there. Really great to see the execution out there, as I believe that's Lemberger catches the, Amy Collins with the goal.
Looked like O'Connell there just saying that Collins maybe pushed off to start her cut from the stack, saying that there was no call, maybe wouldn't have got there anyways, but just always, I like when you see those kinds of discussions on the field. It sets the tone for how you want the play to go. If that does happen again, O'Connell is definitely going to call that foul.
Exactly, yep. And that's the way to talk about it, really, just like, hey, just wash the hands or something like that, It's cool, but let's...
Zone down as well.
In zones, that's it. It's always, I feel like it's one play and one cut that does it. And once you get that break, it's like, there you're off to the races. Sometimes it gets crunched back again, but oftentimes you see that one 40-yard throw make all the difference.
So Nightlock back out on offense, looking to get another hold, maybe find some more fluidity here against Brute Squad.
And again, just that difficult Brute Squad defense. So, Becky, I didn't see the Schwa game, but it brings me back to 1999 Nationals here in Del Mar on these fields, when one of the biggest upsets in women's ultimate history was when Schwa took down the 3-time defending champions Lady Godiva from Boston. So I wonder if there's a little bit of echo of that, of Schwa putting up some good numbers here on Brute Squad.
So in play now here for Nightlock. Pressure defense, stall count climbing here. Finds the reset option in Lyman. Nice low undershot and now working it upfield, but it's gonna land out of bounds. Collins tried to keep her feet in bounds, but just too close to that sideline.
Yeah, it looked like they got out of that swarming D, but it turns out a little too far on the sideline.
Werfelli will pick up here for Brute Squad. Has Douglas in the middle. Douglas resetting again to Werfelli. Now upfield, and Brute Squad this time keeping their feet in bounds. Close on that sideline, Kramer. Werfelli again in the middle, looking for that reset. Struggling to find the next open option, does so well to get that low break flick out. The little shoulder shimmy and fakes, but trying to cut into the end zone, too tight of a gap once again, and it's bobbled off of Kramer.
Really fun watching Werfelli out there. Just her ranginess and her release points. Long, lengthy player. Now she's on the mark.
So Nightlock going all the way back the other way, looking, but unfortunately too long there. Nothing Adrienne Lemberger could do about that one.
Needed a little more air under it. It could have been a play.
So Werfelli will get a chance to initiate here, looking for an option. Gets a little inside reset to Steinfeld. Now upfield with Kramer. Into the middle with Wong. Looking for a reset. Werfelli just takes one step from the front of the stack and then lets it air out into space, and somehow coming down with it, Sophia Hulbert. But looks like a call on the play, a little bit of jostling to get into the space. Thought Hulbert did really well to get positioning on that one.
Yeah, I didn't see much of a call. It looks like it's pretty honest.
Get some shot here. Little bit of hand movement, but it did look like Hulbert had the position there, but it's going to be a contested foul.
Thought it was a clean going up, but coming back to Werfelli.
So Werfelli goes high release backhand to Wong. And then inside, Werfelli with the score, and Brute Squad get another break in this one, make it 6-2.
Again, a luxury having Werfelli on that D line. You know, this is another college national two-time champion with Dartmouth, along with Angela. Want to suffocate you on D, and then when they get the turn, you've got some of the country's best handlers on your D line.
Sophia Hulbert there doing so well to make those deep strikes from close to the end zone. I love those cuts when you're close to the end zone, but you're still kind of cutting to the back corners as well, looking for where the spaces are in the end zone. And then Disc comes back and just an easy, almost make it look easy anyways. Wong Raffelli 1-2 into the end zone, and Brute Squad leading by 4.
Yeah, so you're right. You make that out cut in the end zone, and it's like that's a terrible cut. You're never going to get that disc, but you're creating all that space underneath you, in which you saw Wong and Raffelli work it in.
So Brute Squad back out on defense, looking to extend their lead. Nightlock, Rafter, and Para going 1 and 2. Looking for the next option. Natasha Wan is going to unleash a backhand huck now, looking into the end zone. There's a receiver and some pressure, but can't come down with it. The receiver managed to get a hand to the disc, but unfortunately, not much to be done on that one.
Yeah, nice put from Natasha Wan. Really good rip. Player had a chance at it, but the swarming Boston D with 2 defenders there.
Anderson going deep on that one, and now back the other way, looking to reel it in as it sails over.
Looks like we have another timeout call as the teams look to regroup a little bit. So I wonder if we should talk about some of the other competition for Brute. Last year, tough loss to Fury in the finals. They didn't get to the top of the heap at Worlds with the loss to Revolution, right? To Revo?
Yeah, tough situation with that one, of course, with the weather delays and then the indoor game that they had to do as well. Revolution, and that did just look better for the most part of the game. They were fiery, they had the intensity, and I think Brute Squad have brought that out in their games since then. They've recognized the mistakes that they made, and they are now bringing that same intensity on defense that we saw at Worlds as well. Looks like there was not a timeout call. The team's just maybe regrouping in the middle of the field for a few seconds there. Always sometimes a nice way to bring your team together after you get broken, to call the line together instead of hanging your heads after. So we'll see if it can translate here for this O-line. The time to get in a couple points would be now before Brute Squad can try to take half. That pull is going to sail all the way out of bounds, almost landing on our tent back here.
Yeah. When you're playing in these games and you're down, like Nightlock's playing pretty good ultimate, but they're making more mistakes than Brute Squad, and Brute Squad's a better team. But sometimes you feel like you just look up at the scoreboard and you're like, whoa, good lord, we're 7-2. You don't feel like that on the field necessarily.
So Lyman puts that one up, and now into space. A great shot from Dariani. Dariani put that one in to be run onto. Now Lyman again gets the reset. And a huge layout D. Brute Squad bringing it all out on defense, showing us what they're made of. Courtney Verhalen comes through. Now moving it upfield. Reset option looking for Angela Zhu. Instead, it comes back to Steinfeld. Steinfeld finds Douglas on the far side. Brute Squad showing some patience as now the cut comes off the front of the stack with Zhu. Zhu, big pump fake, looking towards the end zone, resets it instead.
Wow, the whole sideline went up on that fake.
Kramer now. Steinfeld finds a big open under on the far sideline with Murphy. Now into the end zone. Verhalen can't get away to that disc. Tried to read it. Some good body positioning there from the Nightlock defense.
I think that throw just got away from Chelsea Murphy. Otherwise, they were all in rhythm there. They were really working him down.
Havert puts that one up, looking for Lyman. Some contact on the attempt there by Zhu. Definitely looked like Zhu came into the back of Lyman a little bit. The disc was sailing over both of their heads, but there was contact on the play, so we'll see what the resolution will be. Get another look at it here as well. I see that disc from Havert sailing high over Lyman. Some contact there from Zhu, but then they both go up, so hard to say if Lyman would have been able to go up before. Looks like, though, the observers ruled it was a foul, so disc back in play here with Nightlock. Lemberger has the reset to Havert. Havert and Lyman going 1 and 2 there. Like Lyman's big slash cross all the way around, and now that one's gonna sit up into the end zone. and ruled not out by the observer. In looking for Dariani, reels it in under pressure, and Nightlock find a hold.
Great job by the Captain Lemberger there. Way to keep your composure after what you hope to get another one. They had one earlier where it was just out of the end zone line, and so she's able to get back to the line quickly and find an open Dariani.
And really, Dariani doing a great job too of attacking the disc under pressure.
Yeah, and then creating the space on that open one. Great comeback there from Nightlock after that. Looked like that was going to be a suffocating Brute Squad defense of the Murphy D right there. Verhalen. But instead they get the turn, and Nightlock stops Brute Squad from taking half on D.
Dariani confidently going up for that one. See her look back at the defender as if to say, nice try.
Yeah, I got this. Don't you worry, I've got this one.
Brute Squad still very comfortable though in this game. They're up 7-3, leading here.
Dariani getting some shade and a hug. Dariani doing a lot of work here for the 50th. She's got a big presentation on her one of the teams she played with, Downtown Brown. You got to see it at the presentation center. Just players of color have long formed a fun team at Potlatch, and they have a little presentation here that's really fun to see.
So Nightlock, one break at the very start of the game, looking for another one now. Sinacrope brings the disc into play, no mark on her yet. Upfield here for Brute, faking the huck. Schwam finds Sinacrope again, and now the huck goes up, looking all the way and into the end zone. Odie with the goal, and Brute Squad, what a way to come out, respond, and take half.
Yeah, you get a short porch there, why not? Although we have a little bit of a call here, Becky. I see something. I don't know what that is. What is that hand signal by the observer there?
I think the observer just signaling there to the teams that there's 10 minutes for halftime.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah.
Odie open all the way into the end zone, and Brute Squad in charge right now in this game, Tony. They lead at half 8-3, and we'll take a short break. We'll be back in a few minutes with second half action.
Song called Level Up, and it's a whole
The 2018 USA Ultimate National Championships are presented by VC Ultimate, providing Ultimate's best custom team uniforms and apparel since 1998. Visit VC on the web and VCUltimate.com. Boston Brute Squad and San Francisco Nightlock facing off in the last round of their pool play action here. 8-3 at half. Brute Squad leading. See some highlights now from the first half on your screen. Brute Squad ever so easily getting those 1 and 2 shots into the end zone. Angela Zhu often with the give-go. Big huck put up here, and the defensive play able to knock it down before the second attempt. Effort too. Raffelli putting this one up into the end zone. High, and it's read so well there, reeled in. Hobart with that. Nightlock doing some good things themselves as well, going back this way. See Dariani with the cut here, or the huge layout D from Verhalen first. Verhalen doing an incredible job there, and Brute Squad, Tony, in control right now.
Yeah, it's Brute Squad's game, and it's Brute Squad's year, we think. Certainly the #1 seed. You know, we saw at halftime there a little bit, we saw the Nightlock, some of the team members on Nightlock dancing, and they were doing the Level Up Challenge dance, of which they have a music video, which we were asked to watch, and I watched it, and it was really fun and really good, and we agreed that neither of us could dance that well. But if you want to check it out, look for Marissa Rafter, not only the Callahan winner, but she uploads videos that are very compelling to watch on YouTube, the Level Up Challenge from Nightlock. You know, you used to see like Bent do some, there's a lot of teams that have coordinated dances I've seen that have done well for them. Brute Squad, not one of them.
A lot of teams bringing out a little bit of fun, keeping themselves loose. It's definitely something that can be an advantage in a situation you're down 5 points. You just want to enjoy the game, have some fun with it, not get too stressed out or frustrated as well. We're going to get to see Nightlock come out on offense here in the second half. Brute Squad, their D-line has put on so much pressure. They started off shaky. Their first O-line of the game, they were broken. They have not been broken since that moment, and looking strong on defense as well.
Shelly Cohen here, looks like she's going to pull. You know, one team that dances well at halftime is the Notre Dame women's team, and they would be dominating teams and winning these big games and be dancing at halftime and just having a blast.
So we're back underway. Second half action. Women's pool play, last round of this pool. Nightlock 0-2, some close losses, unfortunately today. Brute Squad 2-0. On their way to a third win right now, but Nightlock keeping that in possession, looking determined. Griffith puts it to Lyman, who's going to put a big backhand upfield. Had 2 receivers going, a good decision, but that disc carrying in the wind too far.
Yeah, I did see the wind kind of take that. Also, the angle was a little bit off.
So it'll give the disc back to Brute Squad a chance to extend their lead with another break.
I want to see if Cone has that big backhand rip upwind as well. Forehand looks nice.
Nice break over to Groom. Groom looking to the reset with Cohen. Cohen pumping a huge backhand huck upwind, being tracked down and read well. O'Connell, but on the line. Now looking to the end zone, just hangs it into space, and a foul was called. That one too close to the defender. No contest on the mark as well, so O'Connell will get it back on the end zone line on stall 1. Looking for the reset. Finds it. Wilson. And somehow that one into the ground.
Yeah, it looks like Wilson just didn't mean to release it, I think. Like, thought she had her woman open, and then I was defended well, and then she tried to hold up on the throw, and it got away from her. But
sometimes on those fakes, just faking too hard. So now Nightlock with Habert.
And Cone does have the big backhand upwind.
And O'Connell's going to pick that one off, but on the second attempt, reeled in here. Nightlock doing a great job. Now they move upfield. Griffith resets to Dariani. And that one just straight through the hands of Lemberger, maybe already thinking about the throw. It's going to give the disc back here to Cohen.
Yeah, came in a little fast. Lemberger made that great catch off the tip disc from Caitlin O'Connell. And then unfortunately it gave it back there.
Cohen looking for the next option. Has Werfelli coming up line. Felly gets low, but no option on the first one. And the second reset to the middle is there with Wilson.
Yeah, seems to be a call.
Wilson was very open in the middle. It looks like Nightlock had stopped their movement a little bit earlier in the play there. Kim Long signaling the pick early.
Becky, we haven't seen Caitlin Lee out too much. I wonder if they're saving her a little bit. Does she need does she need saving? I mean, this is an elite player, but you know, why not? Why tire her out, right?
So Dis back here with Wilson. Now Werfelli puts it upfield. Canning, 10 yards from the end zone for Brute Squad. Now Groom on the far sideline. On the doorstep again for Brute Squad, wanting to extend their lead. The inside backhand shot to Cohen, and Brute Squad ever so good at those break throws here in this game. It's 9-3.
Yeah, I was gonna say just the form that they have when they get low. Like you know, these players are taught this too. When they get low and release on this backhand, they bend their knees down. Look at that the positioning. She splits her legs, and we just saw Werfelli do that just the play before. Very similar style, and I'm sure they practice that. You know, that's the release you need.
Brute Squad so in control right now in this game, and you have to give some credit to Nightlock. They've made a lot of good decisions. The execution hasn't always been there, but they are trying things, and they are trying to make those big plays and going for those big hucks. On that last one, they had 2 receivers going, the wind just carrying the disc too far.
When you're out of rhythm a little bit, you're out of rhythm, and you don't get the disc back as often playing this kind of competition. So, yeah. Look, make no mistake about it. Nightlock is a very good team. This is one of the top teams in the country, and they've been the second team in San Francisco, of course, to Fury for quite some time, and haven't made this tournament. Actually, I think they make nationals fairly often. This is an elite level team, but when you're playing Brute Squad, it's tough.
Brute Squad showing us time and time again why they're ranked #1 in this tournament. Douglas puts up a big rolling backhand pull. Now Rafter in the middle, a Callahan winner. Chang puts it upfield, finds Jackie Nguyen.
Oh, good to see Jackie out there. Kobe, they call her. Her toughness and her skill set.
Chang again looking for the next option, finds it in a reset. McGee back to Chang. McGee again. Tight defense here from Brute, but an inside shot goes up, and then the huck, and that one's gonna blade into the ground. Anne-Marie Gordon couldn't keep that one high enough. The pressure as well there from Hilbert. And now Douglas.
Yeah, tough to decide whether to put that deep or to put it under. It ended up being sort of an in-betweener.
Douglas looked deep and then resets to Steinfeld.
Douglas?
Now Lee.
There's Lee. Player of the year in the Div 2 this year? Is that right, Becky? Tulsa Douglas?
I'm not sure, to be totally honest. I know she was a Div 3 champion. Her team did win, but I don't believe she did win the Donovan Award. As now Verhalen to the end zone. A huge full extension layout grab. Definitely has to be a born to rise moment of this game. Getting a bit distracted there by talking about Douglas, but Courtney Verhalen showing us how it's done. That disc blades to the ground. We'll see Douglas pick up here, and then going upfield, looking into the end zone. That one's falling low, and a huge full extension grab at the back of the end zone. And Brute Squad, there's no wonder why they are ranked #1, leading now 10-3 in this game.
The handshake there from defender Michelle McGee to the great layout, congratulating Courtney Verhalen there. It's twice we've seen her get down low for the disc. That sweet layout D, and then this one on the pickup in the end zone. Another break for a Brute Squad.
At this point, Nightlock doing a lot of good things. Unfortunately, some of the execution not there, and the level that Brute Squad brings when they get those breaks is just unparalleled right now in this game. So Brute Squad will come back out on defense looking for yet another break. We have not seen Brute Squad's O-line in quite some time now.
I also haven't seen Manu. I think I've talked about her a lot maybe, but one of the coaches here for Nightlock has been one of my favorite players over the years. Apa, they call her, little Napoleon from Italy, who has been in San Francisco for quite some time and won a number of championships with San Francisco Fury. Manu Emmanuel Argili, one of the coaches for Nightlock.
So now Nightlock trying to move it upfield under pressure. Leung with the disc on the far sideline. Those resets being taken away here by Brute Squad. The only option is to put it deep. Habert chasing it down, and instead the huge grab from Allison Griffith comes out of nowhere. And Nightlock showing us their athleticism on display. The around backhand now going up to the end zone, and that one unfortunately is going to sail out of bounds.
A little bit of conservation of greatness. Stall count got high. What an amazing play. Oh, wow, here's a big rip again from Cone.
And has Wong in the space. Read well, gets it on the second attempt. Under pressure, Cassie Wong looking for the next option. Resets to Zhu. Zhu puts it to O'Connell in the end zone, who keeps her feet just in bounds, and just like that, Brute Squad go the full 70 yards all the way again to break.
That was a quick turn of events, was it not? Barely was giving some praise to Allison Griffith for that amazing catch, and then the unfortunate turn, and bam, bam, bam. Cone gets at the disc, rips it deep. Unbelievable read from Cassie Wong as her player goes up and over, and Wong, here she is right here, just stays with it, comes down with it, finds Zhu, and Zhu does this. Ding, into the end zone, front cone, it's a goal.
O'Connell has been doing such a good job of cutting to that near cone all day in this game and keeping her feet just in bounds as well. Brute Squad, no doubt that this is their game. 11-3, fully in the driver's seat right now. And Nightlock, I'm not sure there's much that they can do against such a dominant team right now.
Well, there's more to Ultimate than just on the field play, obviously. You know, there's a lot of spirit and sportsmanship and camaraderie and an enjoyment of life, really, in our sport. So sometimes sometimes you're out there, right, and you're down 11-3, and you're like, you look up and you're like, I'm in San Diego right now. It's pretty nice out here. Fields are kind of nice. These palm trees are pretty swell.
So Brute Squad looking still to break more as Marissa Rafter will center the disc here for Nightlock. Fong puts it to McGee on the far side. Back to the middle with Rafter, the person defense again here from Brute Squad. Fong again. Fong puts up the big flick huck. It's going to sail over the heads, and unfortunately Para couldn't get there either. Just sailing away, a little bit of that crosswind, pushing it to the ground.
It's a heck of a distance for that forehand. I saw the defender looking back like it was going to be a shorter, and I think that also distracted Para.
Now the low one from Werfelli. Centering back under a little bit of traffic, but now to the far side with Steinfeld. Groom. Cami Groom has been pretty quiet in this game as well for Brute Squad. Steinfeld has Werfelli in the reset. Another big yard gainer upfield here with Hobart. Little backhand dish to Groom. 10 yards from the end zone of another break for Brute Squad. Werfelli tries to go up line. Defense from McGee shuts it down, and now the inside shot goes. The layout attempt, but it's too far away. Groom had no options when Werfelli went up line. There was no one to fill in the reset space.
Yeah, that throw was actually the option. That was your plan C or whatever, and the recognition by the Brute players there wasn't there in time.
So McGee dishes a little one to win. Nguyen puts it deep, looking, but Groom in the space takes control, and there's an injury on the play. Looks unfortunately like
Is that Kobe?
Jackie Wynn down on the ground here for Nightlock.
Yeah, playing again with that injured ACL we talked about earlier. And that's, you know, if you're trying to get that release, you need that torque. And I'm not sure how that might feel on your knee.
That could be a big loss as well here for this Nightlock team. The 2018 Callahan winner down right now with an injury. She's going to be helped off here by her teammates.
Yeah, really fought to get back to this position really on the field. You see her getting helped off there.
Teammates carrying her off now.
Yeah, I hate to see that.
A big loss here for Nightlock. Like you said, she was playing with an already injured ACL. Hopefully didn't make it worse in this one.
Well, you know, they told me that Dariani told me that Emmanuel Argili had played without an ACL for years. So some folks just don't need that ligament.
So Groom sets that to Douglas in the middle. Now Kramer gets Werfelli. Groom with the big under. And then straight to the end zone, and Marissa Rafter for Halen tries to track it down, but Marissa Rafter, it looks like there's another injury on the play here for Nightlock.
Ouch. Textbook layout there from Rafter.
Fortunately, another player down, San Francisco Nightlock.
Ooh. Oh. It's one of those you don't want to see again. That's Maggie O'Connor, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, O'Connor down on the play, just
she's all right.
Taking herself off the field here.
Just hope that's just a sprained ankle, and I think it is.
Maybe just going over on it as she tried to set the mark on Groom. And go back to Marissa Rafter. That D, full extension layout D, nothing that Verhalen could do about it to track it down.
Yeah, textbook length. A timing from Rafter. She might have baited that throw a little bit, knowing that she's got that layout capability, right? You know, you don't win Callahan's for nothing. You win it for making plays like that. Callahan, of course, the College Player of the Year.
So this we brought back into play here. Fong goes the low shot, finds Kira Liu, has McGee back. McGee low on options, but finds Rafter on this near sideline. Rafter fakes the huck.
Yeah, Brute's marks are tough. Where do you get your releases, you know?
Liu is gonna put that one deep. Sailing around, but defensive pressure, and looks like they both came down with this one. If they both did catch it at the same time, it should go to offense. Patricia Anderson thought she had her hand on the disc. Kramer as well, saying she got there first.
Yeah, that's a tough one to make. Tough call to decide.
We're gonna get another look at it here.
I would give it to Kramer on that.
Both of them tracking it down. Kramer gets there first, and the observers making the same ruling on the field. So Kramer did get a hand to that one just before Anderson.
But it looks like there's a call going back also, maybe on the throw.
So a foul was called on the throw. We missed that with the action of the catch up there.
Yeah, good ruling by the observers though. They didn't have the replay that we just saw, so they saw that live and made the correct call. As Kramer went up and got it first. But back to Kira Liu.
So Liu immediately finds Anderson, this time coming under, and Anderson's gonna put it this time, looking for Para. And again, the disc sailing too far, and unfortunate. Megan Para has been open on those deep cuts for the better part of this game.
Right. Show her some love. Get her that disc in a place where she can get it. One thing Coach Jackson from Brute Squad told me, and I'm sure he told you too, is that sometimes the way they position their marks, the Brute Squad team, is they will force your throw to go a little further or a little out of your release point to be different and get those kind of turnovers out of it.
So Douglas now. That one is gonna go all the way up. Another big yard gainer here to Groom. Back into the middle with Wilson. Douglas is gonna put the flick up, and that one, the wind catching it, Just a little bit of the wrong edge had Van Halen going, but sailing all the way out of bounds.
It seemed like she tried to float that one in, and the float wasn't the right call. It was an angle. You needed an angle shot. So as soon as that was released, basically, that was going to be the effect.
So Fong will pick up here for Nightlock. Douglas on the mark. Side sack to give some space as Para initiates the cut, fakes the huck. Nice break backhand there, gets it to Liu. Liu puts it around some defensive traffic, but Anderson has control of the disc. You see Marissa Rafter directing traffic, and that one unfortunately dropped, bobbled off the hands of Hassan, but looks like a call on the play. Groom putting on a lot of pressure.
Going back to Hassan. Love the movement.
So Groom, an uncontested foul call. The disc will be on stall 1 here with Lexi Hassan. Up line for Liu. Looking to the end zone, and the defensive play. Tulsa Douglas reads that one first and gets 2 hands to it to push it away. This point, one of the longer ones we've seen in this game. And you can see Raffelli already signaling for the timeout, walks it up to the line and makes the call.
Yeah, those long points will get you. This hot sun. Right call there by Brute. Great defense.
And Brute Squad just wanting to make sure that they can convert on this one. After so many turnovers from both teams, you don't want to see your team start to slip and continue to make those errors throughout the course of the point.
I think you just don't want to get injured at this point. Late in the game, you're going to win. Let's talk about what their road is. As the 1 seed, who are they going to end up crossing over with potentially down the road is this Brute Squad team. You got Riot and Fury in the 2-3 spots. So you got Scandal and Molly Brown on the 4-5. So, and then, so that's looking at semis. I'm looking all the way ahead to semis for this team, Becky. Maybe I'm going too far, but no. I think it would be considered quite the surprise if Brute Squad wasn't in the semis.
Gotta agree with you on that one. This team definitely looking like a championship side. They're gonna come back out of this timeout call.
Yeah, so your next game, Molly Brown and Scandal, Denver versus Washington, D.C. on the battle of the 4 and 5 seeds overall will be a good one. Make sure you tune in to watch that one.
So Raffelli will get us back underway here. Groom makes the slash cut across. There was a deep strike going from Hobart, but it comes back inside to Groom, and Groom's gonna unleash. Looking for Hobart, it's sailing and floating. The huge layout attempt, but it can't quite get there. Now back onto defense here. Nightlock, McGee.
Big bid from the New Yorker, but comes up a little short.
Now around to Anderson. Anderson fakes the lefty backhand. McGee gets it back. Liu. Liu has Rafter open under.
Love the speed of their offense here for Nightlock.
Para and a huge layout there. Lots of contact on that bid as well. That one from Rachel Kramer.
Yeah, came down hard on Para. She's okay here. As Rafter's forehand comes in here, and then you'll see Para come into your screen with Kramer on top of her there. And a little bit of a dangerous play. I don't like that bidding on the high shoulder. I don't think you can go for that like that. You have to. The only way Kramer is going to get that disc is through the body. You can't do that.
Yeah,
and this
Kramer,
is why. This is people get injured.
Kramer thinking that she could get around, but at that point, that decision, that's on you as a defender to keep your body out of that as well. We're going to get another look at it here. Kramer just goes on top of the shoulder there and lands directly on top of Para.
You can't make that play. I mean, this is where folks talk about maybe potential yellow cards. I mean, look, it's not an intentional play, obviously, but you have to have better body control out there because people get hurt, and there's no way she can get that disc without going through the body. It's just that simple. So unfortunate there.
So we'll hope that Para is okay on this play.
And I just wonder, how do you make these rulings in the future? Where is there a warning for that player on that dangerous bid? Para will sit down.
So a sub comes in here for Nightlock. Shayla Harris will replace Para.
Haven't called Shayla Harris's name out too much. And Harris was dominant cutter for Stanford for Superfly this year.
So a call on the mark.
We got to watch, I think it was Shayla and Caitlin Lee go toe-to-toe in college nationals in that semifinal game.
So now swung back to Rafter. Rafter, the lefty, high release to Harris. Looking upfield has Hassan. Nightlock working it well, now stuck on that far sideline, looking for the next option, running out of options, but has Rafter who gets open in the reset. Harris now on the near sideline. Goes the break backhand to Fong. Into the end zone for McGee, and what a point for San Francisco Nightlock. A long point, they had several injuries as well, and what a way to come out on top of it.
That was a great job moving it downfield, withstanding the pressure. We saw a number of players go down. You're right, I think 3, which is crazy, and they get the goal. Sabrina Fong with that throw into the end zone, and just way to keep your heads on and get that goal. So the road for Nightlock, they will drop down to 0-3 and go into the bottom of the pool. Brute Squad, of course, will stay in the uppers, and then they'll get a bye in the morning. So Brute Squad will then be looking at the winner of the crossovers between Pool B and C, the 2 and 3. So they're looking at either, well, you saw Sixers earlier. They could be looking at Sixers in quarterfinals. Becky, what do you think about a matchup of Brute Squad and Sixers, a rematch of Northeast Regionals finals?
Brute Squad has had Sixers ticket for most of this season. They've been able to overcome them. They did have one very close game at the World Ultimate Club Championships this year in Power Pools. It was a universe point game there. Yeah. So not impossible to imagine that Sixers could give them a better game than at regionals. However, that goes to say that this Brute Squad team has only been getting better over the course of the summer since that point, ready to peak for this tournament.
Yeah, this is their tournament. It was something they wanted to win, but it's sort of like a bonus, and this is the tournament that you put all your chips in for.
So that pull will go up here from Lyman. Brute Squad leading 11-4 after a long point with several injuries on that last one. Dished upfield now. Schwam moving it quickly to Malinowski. Now back here with Emerson, who puts it upfield to Odie. Odie has Malinowski, but puts it too high up into space, and Nightlock a chance to quickly transition the other way. And a pick called on the play as it gets centered back to Lyman.
Well, let's see what their D-line can do with the disc.
Now moving it upfield, Hassan. Going to put it up into space. There's some defensive pressure there as well, and gets there first. Schwam with the body position on that one.
Yeah, this whole team up and down the line is good on the D. You know, when they turn it, Brute Squads, their offensive players on D are also very fierce.
Grignon Tama now unleashes a backhand of her own to Malinowski, reeled in. Malinowski does well to get the body position on that one.
Becky Malinowski, one of the elite cutter receivers in the country for a while.
Tajima puts it over now. The first time we've seen the offensive unit of Brute Squad on the field for quite some time, and Henkin can't get that one over. Miscommunication, maybe the lack of being on the field for quite a few points, getting a bit cold as now Nightlock has a chance to go all the way back the other way for a second break here of the game. But Tajima, the huge layout block, cutting across, directly across, read that swing all the way. Now Claudia Tajima on the end zone line will put that in for the score, and what a play, a Born to Rise moment, but looks like there will be a call back here as they will discuss where the players were and maybe a pick called previously. Looks like the disc will go back to Tajima.
Great off-person spot for Tajima with that layup. Pretty sweet positioning for her. She's going to get a chance to throw the goal here. Depending on, I don't know, she might have to drop it back. Looks like they're covered, but.
Grignon Thomas gets open with one hard jab step into the end zone, and that point has got to be all about the layout D from Claudia Tajima. Brute Squad up 12-4 now. The clock running down a little bit from that last really long point, but they look so good going up into that end zone space.
Great presence from Claudia Tajima. Becky, you played against these guys. Sorry. This Brute Squad at regionals. Who were the players that were most fearsome for you?
When it comes to Brute Squad, the thing is that they all are. They have such a deep team. They are so quick, and their transitions are so fierce as well. We're going to get some looks here as well. You see the D there, and then you see Tajima reads it all the way and gets a hand to it to cut off the swing, making that cut directly across the field and then into the end zone. Grignon Thomas with the score. And that's the thing. We say the names of multiple different players as we commentate, and that's exactly what you fear. You are never safe on defense on the field against Brute Squad. Every player is capable of burning you at field.
You on the you an O-line or D-line player?
I played on the D-line this year, and very difficult to play defense on this Brute Squad team. And you see it now, Nightlock struggling as well to keep up.
Yeah. What do you say at halftime, or what do you talk about?
You got to try and focus on the things that you can control, and also for us, just enjoy the moment. But now Nightlock trying to work it upfield, and a drop. Gonna give the disc back here to Brute Squad. Cohen resets to Zoo. Zoo's gonna put this one up. Looking, but again, another disc that's just been put up, catching the wind and sailing this direction.
Yeah, the float is not the shot here. You got to angle it.
Brute Squad, 12-4 in this one, looking to run away with the last few points.
See what Nightlock, they scored upwind last time they had this. See if they can do it again.
Pressure on the defense there.
No contest catch.
Griffith for Nightlock. Resets to Habert. Pressure on the marks, these big marks here from Brute Squad. Looking for the reset, finds it. Now Habert again going 1 and 2. Has the around option. Long gets it upfield to Griffith. Puts the nice into space. Treats it more as a yard gainer rather than looking for the deep shot on that one. Adrian Lemberger puts it back to Habert.
Nice patience there.
Habert has the reset. Unfortunately, the reset there from I just stopped her cut, danced a little bit too much before that one came out.
Yeah.
And immediately the huck to the end zone is going to be reeled in. Brute Squad make this one 13-4.
Got to get your hands out when Cohn's got the disc. Can't let her get those throws off. Too easy for Shelly Cohn. Yeah, once Nightlock got downfield there, and they had no one else cutting deep, then starts to get a little crunchy, and you got to figure out where your spots are.
So 13-4, Brute Squad in control. And Nightlock putting up a few good points, but unfortunately just not able to match the intensity that Brute Squad is bringing. So Nightlock, just some miscommunication, some execution errors, and the difference in how Brute Squad takes advantage of turnovers, really unparalleled in this one.
Yeah, and that's their strength, one of their strengths, for sure. And I just feel like they know, everyone knows you're going to get turns, they're going to get the disc. And so you just, and it's smart from Brute Squad to say, we're going to convert when we get the disc. And, you know, that's what they do.
So 2 points away from this one. Nightlock back out on offense as the pull comes up. Be collected here by McGee. Into the middle for Fong. McGee trying to go 1 and 2, but just bounces off her hands. Another tight reset space causing some problems here as Douglas will walk up to pick this one up. Douglas looking for an option. Has Cassie Wong coming off, and now Caitlin Lee off the sack. Lee finds the reset back. Kramer looking upfield there. Now Caitlin Lee putting it around to Steinfeld into the end zone, and Brute Squad once again, those break shots, so good, so clean there from Lee.
Yeah, that, you can see it really, really clearly. The arm of the defender, Lexi Hassan, is out there, and Caitlin, look at her positioning. Good positioning from Hassan, and Caitlin just goes right underneath the outstretched arm of the defender, Hassan.
Brute Squad doing such a good job of cutting off the front of that stack, making their cuts to both the open and the break side, knowing the abilities of their throwers to get it over there. And Nightlock hasn't been able to find an answer to mark that break side of the field. The marks being broken, unfortunately, too many times in this one. But that is one thing that Brute Squad does so well, their ability to break the mark, and then once they're on that break side, if it's not in the end zone yet, they are off to the races flowing upfield.
And really it is, it's just the simple, the most element basics of the sport, which is your body positioning and your release points. So it's both on offense and defense as a marker. Where are you putting your hands? Where are your feet? Where's the weight of your body going to be to maximize your defensive pressure on the thrower? And on offense, it's the same thing. It's where's your weight distribution going to be? Where is your release point? Where are your hands going to be when you have the disc, so that you get the maximum potential from your throws? And this team perfects it. It's to an art form of that minuscule detail.
So response on offense. Dariani has a big undercut, but the closing speed of Cami Groom gets to that one first, tracking it all the way. As Zoo will pick up and unleash, looking for Groom on the double happiness, but well done. Habert turns around and smacks it out of her way.
That was exciting. Like a puma was Cami Groom out there getting to that disc, and then Habert returns the favor.
Cami Groom taking off into that deep space. Habert does well. Gives the disc back to Nightlock. Habert has the option with Eye on the near sideline. Now inside to Dariani. Looking for the next one, resets instead now to Eye, and now over to Lyman. Lyman has Griffith going with another huge layout grab. She's done that throughout this game.
Yeah, nice pickup when you go down, follow that disc to the turf.
And then goes for the backhand break, and a foul called on the throw.
Caitlin O'Connell takes a breath there. That's what we hear a lot about, is if there's a call, take a breath and think about it here. I don't think she's going to contest, but she thought about it, and the breath really helps.
So quick discussion between the two players. Dis will be back in on stall 1 with Griffith. Looking for the reset of Lyman. Now Dariani gets low to keep that in possession.
Hey, you look upfield and everyone's covered. And you look downfield and everyone's covered.
And then that one, tries to hang on, does for a second, and then it's bobbled again, dropped out of her hands. Brute Squad on the doorstep of the victory. Brute Squad centering to Zoo. And then Groom in the end zone. 1, 2, 3, we're Felly Zoo to Groom, and that is the game here. Brute Squad 15-4 over Nightlock.
Too much speed. Cami Groom just simply outruns her woman to the cone at the front of the stack here. You see her set it up over there. Zoo, of course, is going to hit that. Hope you tuned in to really watch some excellent women's ultimate here, and one of the best teams in the country in Brute Squad. Great performance from them, and a great performance, a great fight from Nightlock.
And time will tell if we're looking at the champions this year return to the top of the podium after a loss last year to Fury in the final. Of course, winning the year before that, 2016 and 2015.
Yep.
And looking to take back that spot. A convincing victory. Had some issues on their O-line, but able to clean it up near the end of this game and throwing in those break throws all day long for the victory. We're going to get a look at some of the best moments of this game coming up in a second here, and Brute Squad convincing, dominant right now. See Caitlin O'Connell keep her toes just in bounds there. Kramer putting this one for Halen, extending the full horizontal to the ground layout grab. And all day, the second effort's also reeled in by Brute Squad, keeping their heads on a swivel. Groom puts this one into the end zone. The layout D this time from Marissa Rafter, Callahan winner. And this one, Claudia Tajima, the plays in this game from both teams, the athleticism on display, and it's been a phenomenal game here. 2018 USA Ultimate Championships. We'll be back soon with more action.